There's a 20-minute habit that costs nothing, requires no equipment, and quietly does more for your body than most prescriptions in your medicine cabinet, but almost nobody does it correctly. Within 72 hours, something starts changing in your blood vessels. By day 14, your brain physically begins to shift, and by day 30, a marker in your blood work moves in a way researchers compared to medication. The catch? There's a specific day most people quit, right before the real changes begin. Stay with me. Let's start with the engine. Your heart pumps roughly 2,000 gallons of blood every single day, enough to fill a backyard swimming pool. It does this without asking, without resting, about 100,000 beats from sunrise to sunrise. But here's the catch. When you sit for 10, 12, 14 hours a day, that pump weakens. Blood pools, arteries stiffen, plaque builds in silence. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of Americans, more than every cancer combined. And the cruelest part is this: there are usually no symptoms until something catastrophic happens. No chest pain, no warning, just a Tuesday morning that doesn't end the way it started. But before I show you how walking rewires this from the inside, you need to understand what happens in the first 72 hours. Day 1 feels fine. Day 2, your legs are heavier than expected. By day 3, your calves are tight, your hips ache, and that little voice starts whispering that this is pointless. Welcome to the hardest stretch. Your muscles are flooding with lactic acid. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Your sleep might actually get worse before it gets better. It feels like nothing is happening. But while your brain throws a tantrum, your heart is already adapting. Within 72 hours, your blood vessels begin releasing more nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes artery walls and improves circulation. Your resting heart rate is already shifting. You can't feel it yet, but it's happening. And here's the moment most people quit, right before the payoff begins. By the way, please support our channel by clicking subscribe. Now, here's where most people get this wrong. They think walking is too easy to count, too gentle to matter. But your cardiovascular system doesn't care about intensity, it cares about consistency. By the end of week 1, daily walking begins lowering your blood pressure through a mechanism called endothelial function, which just means the lining of your blood vessels becoming more flexible, like a garden hose softening after years of being kinked. A landmark Harvard study tracking over 70,000 adults found that walking briskly for 30 minutes a day was linked to a 30 to 40% lower risk of heart disease. Not running, not CrossFit, walking. By day 14, your blood pressure can drop 5 to 11 mmHg on average, comparable to what some prescription medications deliver. But the next change is the one most people completely miss. Now, this is the part that surprised even researchers. While your heart is getting stronger, your blood sugar is getting smarter. Every time your leg muscles contract during a walk, they pull glucose out of your bloodstream without needing much insulin at all, through a side door called the GLUT4 pathway. Translation: your muscles vacuum up sugar that would otherwise spike your blood, crash your energy, and slowly damage your arteries. A 2022 study published in Sports Medicine found that just 2 to 5 minutes of walking after a meal significantly blunted blood sugar spikes compared to sitting. By day 30, your hemoglobin A1C, the gold standard marker for long-term blood sugar, can begin shifting in measurable ways that researchers have publicly compared to first-line diabetes medication. This matters because chronically elevated blood sugar is what quietly corrodes your blood vessels from the inside out, and the next system feeling the benefit might surprise you most of all. Pay attention to this next part because your brain is listening to your feet. Every step pumps blood upward toward your skull. Within 2 weeks, daily walking measurably increases blood flow to your brain and boosts a protein called BDNF. Think of it as fertilizer for your neurons. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh found that older adults who walked just 40 minutes 3 times a week actually grew their hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory, by about 2% over a year. Most people lose volume at that age. These walkers reversed it. By day 30, you'll likely notice it as something simpler:
clearer thinking, steadier mood, fewer 3 p.m. brain fog episodes. Your gym-obsessed friend pounding the treadmill isn't getting this, but the next change is one your cardiologist would write down. Here's something your doctor probably hasn't told you. Inflammation is the quiet fire underneath nearly every chronic disease in America. Heart disease, diabetes, dementia, even depression. There's a blood marker called CRP, C-reactive protein, that tracks it. Chronic low-grade inflammation is like a screen door with a hole in it, small, ignorable, until everything starts getting through. A meta-analysis in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that regular moderate walking significantly reduced CRP levels, especially in adults who were previously sedentary. By day 30, your inflammatory markers can drop noticeably. Your joints feel less stiff in the morning. The puffiness in your face fades. You don't look 30 days younger, but biologically, parts of you actually are. Let's get uncomfortably honest for a moment. Heart disease costs Americans over $250 billion a year. The average cardiac stent procedure runs $30,000 to $50,000. Bypass surgery, $100,000 and up. A single ER visit for chest pain, even when it turns out to be nothing, averages $3,000 out of pocket after insurance. Diabetes management costs the average American household around $9,600 per year. Dialysis, 3 sessions a week, 4 hours each, $90,000 annually. And the human cost is worse. Your spouse watching you lose your independence, your kids learning to give insulin shots, the trips you'll never take because you can't walk through the airport anymore. All of this, every bit of it, traces back to choices you're making right now, today, in the small moments you think don't count. So let's be real about what 30 days of walking can and can't do. It won't reverse decades of damage. It won't cure pre-existing heart disease. But here's what 30 days of consistent walking can do. Drop your resting heart rate 5 to 10 beats per minute. Lower your blood pressure measurably. Improve your cholesterol balance. Stabilize your blood sugar. Strengthen your bones. Sharpen your thinking. And add years to your life expectancy. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're committing to 30 days. I read every reply. This isn't a transformation video lying to you. Chronic damage takes longer to fully reverse, but 30 days isn't the finish line, it's the proof of concept. Once you feel the difference, the question stops being, "Can I do this?" and becomes, "Why would I ever go back?" Quick recap. Daily walking strengthens your heart muscle and lowers your blood pressure within weeks. It teaches your muscles to handle sugar more efficiently, taking pressure off your pancreas. It grows your brain and protects your memory. It cools the chronic inflammation underneath nearly every modern disease. And it's the most consistent, repeatable signal you can send your body that you intend to keep living. The occasional skipped day won't undo you. Daily sitting absolutely will. The difference is consistency, not perfection. So I'll leave you with this. If you could see through your skin right now and watch your heart contracting 100,000 times today, would you still let it carry the weight of one more sedentary day? Or would today be the day you finally stand up, open the front door, and take that first step into the cool morning air? Because the choice is always yours, and it starts with the next step you actually take.